Hello everyone, it's Jamal Thomas. Welcome to the Progressive Soapbox. Question: did they have weapons of mass destruction in Iraq? It's not a trick question. I'll give you a moment if you don't necessarily know the answer right off the bat. Did they have weapons of mass destruction in Iraq? The answer to that question is emphatically no. They did not. The media organizations, the U.S. intelligence organizations, Bush, Cheney, even Colin Powell with an 80% approval rating, lied to the American public. Lied to the American public, putting us into a war that murdered a million Iraqis, killing 3,000 U.S. soldiers. Did they have weapons of mass destruction in Iraq? And at this point, I'm asking the question rhetorically, because I've already given you the answer. I'm asking this question emphatically, and I'm asking this question in this way. It wasn't 15 years ago, or it wasn't 50 years ago, meaning it wasn't an eternity ago. And yet, another Republican president, another buffoon, this one a reality show host. This time it's not Iraq, this time it's Korea, North Korea. And this time they're claiming, once again, going back to the old oldie but goodie, they have weapons of mass destruction. We need to do something about it. They have a missile. They have a nuclear warhead. They have a nuclear warhead. We got to do something about it. We got to invade. We got to invade. We got to do something. All the intelligence services or all of the media organizations agree. Uncritically, again, of the U.S. intelligence services. Never minding the fact that these guys consistently get it wrong. They consistently get it wrong. And the media is consistently complicit in the U.S. intelligence services getting it utterly and completely wrong. They're getting it utterly and completely wrong. Do I believe that they have weapons of mass destruction of missiles? No. Do I believe that the United States policy is emboldening their behavior? Yes. Yes. You have an American president that is flinging his gonads against the cage cells, is essentially saber-rattling. And he's shocked that the other countries abroad are going to behave in a somewhat antagonistic way towards him. I made this point before. We murdered a fifth of their country. A fifth. We killed 20% of their population during the Korean War. Just flying across, leisurely bombing, killing a fifth of their population. Do you believe that if you've killed a fifth of the population of a particular country, that that particular country may harbor some feelings towards you? And do you believe that the stance that the country take may in some way be based upon the behavior of you? Do you believe it's based on the behavior of you? Countries in no situation are going to behave in a weak way. Leaders are not allowed to behave in weak ways. The people who are pushing them expect them to be a certain amount of strength with their position. If you push him, he is going to push back. That's my point. There are ways to deal with North Korea that doesn't necessarily involve the military conflict. But you have a reality show host at the helm. A reality show host that's been hounded by this idea of Russia and will do anything that he could possibly think of to get it out the news, even if that means attacking North Korea. What do you think North Korea is going to do? What do you think North Korea is going to do? And a more operative question. Why do you think North Korea has been trying to get a nuclear weapon? The lesson that the United States has taught the world, that unless you have a nuclear weapon, you're not safe. It's the lesson we've taught Iran. It's the lesson we've taught North Korea. The United States has gone into one country after the next, destroying those countries. We've set fire to the Middle East. Whether you want to talk about Libya, whether you want to talk about Iraq, whether you want to talk about Yemen, even if you want to talk about Syria, being that we were undermining that particular government intentionally. We have set fires in the Middle East. And there have been no consequences for the actions that the United States has taken in one country after the next. The media is completely uncritical of this behavior. Meaning you have a president that will kill 1 million people and he gets off scot-free. He's out there finger painting right now. You have another president that's singing 1 minute and murdering civilians the next minute. Again, he's enjoying his retirement. You have another president, grotesque, murdering civilians also, and now it's about to start a war. And instead of the media being somewhat critical, the media has been critical of each and everything that Donald Trump has did in that office, but when it comes to war, what do you need, sir? What do you need? Well, the intelligence community said this, so we're just spewing what the intelligence community said. We're just going to give this information completely uncritical. The intelligence community never gets it wrong. I want to give credit to Katelyn Johnson on this. She compiled all of the media reaction on Donald Trump's news of a potential war with North Korea. They're giddy at the whole thing. Ooh, we get to put asses in seats. Oh, we get to put asses in seats. We've been dying to try out our new screen that has North Korea on it. If you had a media that was honest and earnest and critical, it would look at these things with skepticism. It wasn't 50 years ago that they lied about Iraq. It was like 15 or 16. We're still in those countries today, at this very moment, predicated on a lie that murdered a million Iraqis. CNN, just in, U.S. intelligence has concluded North Korea is making missile-ready nuclear warheads. Washington Post reports. MSNBC, U.S. intel, North Korea successfully miniaturized nuclear warhead. Sean Hannity, in light of dangerous North Korea threat, I'm stopping all petty political disagreements for the next 12 hours. Let's see what others do. Donald Trump, the guy who wasn't supposed to be the interventionist, the guy who railed against Hillary Clinton for being willing to overthrow governments. That guy, the liar, the reality show host. After many years of failures, countries are coming together to finally address the dangers posed by North Korea. We must be tough and decisive. It's not countries. It's just you. It's just you. The rest of the world is not with you. You are by yourself. Again, just like the other clown from Texas was by himself. And this case is more egregious. All of these things are wars of aggression. I made the point before. Vietnam, Iraq, Libya, Syria, and North Korea. All of these are wars of aggression, regardless of how the media carries these stories. Ultimately, the United States is making a decision to attack another country. That's a war of aggression. They didn't attack us. We're attacking them. North Korea, at this point, is put in the position of defending their territory, in the same way that Iraq was put in the position of defending their territory. In the same way that Iran is being put in the position of defending its territory. We've openly talked about trying to find ways to undermine that government. This is gross. This is disgusting. And is this really the behavior that you want your country to take? Do you really want your media to be this uncritical and ridiculous when information comes out from U.S. intel when they consistently get it wrong? This is aggravating to me. How do you kill 1 million people and then turn around and say, hey, ready for another war? Are you ready for another war? And the media like puppies, lapping it up. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Enamored by it. Enamored because in their minds, us murdering them in no way adversely affects the media personalities and the people in office who are essentially sending those kids off to war. Is this the country you want? Is this the country you want? We're spending $1 trillion to hunt people down in caves. $1 trillion. That $1 trillion is effectively a jobs program. Every bullet, every bomb that's used needs to be replaced. Meaning the more people you kill, the more terrorists you're going to make, the more bombs and bullets and planes and ships and everything else that needs to be built to do it. You have an industry that can essentially destroy materials in order to rebuild materials. It's an awesome jobs program. How do you justify spending $1 trillion hunting people down in caves? You don't. You start another war with North Korea. Or you start another war. In this case, North Korea being the target. Keep an eye on your government, man. I don't know the degree, or I'm in a silo. And progressives to some degree are in a silo. I would hope that the Trump supporters who voted for Trump because they didn't necessarily want him gallivanting around the globe are earnest about that. And they point a finger to this and say, hey, this is beyond the pale. This is beyond the pale. If they're being earnest and honest with the things that they said beforehand, if you were honest that you were terrified that Hillary Clinton was going to start a war, he's starting a war. He's starting a war. We killed 1 million people in the last war. How many people you think are going to die in this war? And mind you, what do you think North Korea is going to do the moment that they're attacked? They're going to attack Japan. They're going to attack North Korea. And maybe they have something that could hit some aspect of our country. But this is not the same thing as if you're attacking Iraq. North Korea can hit back at our interests. And they have said it over before that they are perfectly willing to hit back at our interests if they're attacked. Pay attention to your government. Pay attention to your government. Yeah, this is gross. Pay attention to your government. I leave it at that. If you enjoy the content, feel free to share, write, subscribe, and of course, you can always support the work with PayPal or Patreon. Thanks.